For me, Canelo Jacobs, a big fight coming up in May. How does that fight play out?
That's a terrific fight. It's a very, very good fight. I think right now Canelo is coming into his prime, and I don't think there's a middleweight around that can beat him. That's what I've said. Again, I have no interest in either fighter. I think Jacobs is a very good fighter, certainly a heroic guy, having beaten cancer. But he says a very, very nice young man. But I think this is Canelo's time, and I look for Canelo to dominate any middleweight. But again, that's just my opinion, and that's why they do the fights.
What's your dream fight that you would like to see right now, Bob?
Well, yeah, Terence Crawford against Errol Spence. That for me is the lowest hanging fruit, and I think you guys, assuming Crawford comes through with our...
What's going on, guys? Your boy Boxing Facts River Fiction. I need you guys to do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. Bob Arum recently did a lot of interviews, answering a lot of questions the publics have to ask. You know, I'm a guy, I would like to ask Bob Arum a lot of questions as well. You know, if I was one of those reporters, I would have a lot of questions for Mr. Bob Arum. If I was one of those reporters, I would have a lot of questions for Bob Arum, you know. But I'm not one of those reporters. So some of those reporters are doing their job. Some are afraid to ask the questions that need to be asked. But the ones that are being asked that are good, I will talk on it. And some of the questions that was asked Mr. Bob Arum was about Canelo Alvarez versus Daniel Jacobs. That's a great fight that's going on. That's a great fight. I like this fight a lot, guys. I think it's a true 50-50 fight only because of Daniel Jacobs' size. If it wasn't for Daniel Jacobs' size, because right now I don't think Daniel Jacobs has looked very, very impressive like he looked in the past against guys like Peter Quillin, against Martirosyan. I just haven't seen Daniel Jacobs look really good. I mean, he's won majority of his fights, but his recent performances, I personally wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed with his last performance versus Derevyanchenko. I wasn't impressed with the Salusky fight. And I definitely wasn't impressed with the Luis Arias fight. But I am appreciative that Daniel Jacobs was brave enough to get in there with undefeated fighters. Undefeated top contenders in the middleweight division. A lot of guys don't, at his age and as much as he's accomplished in the middleweight division, a lot of guys wouldn't want to risk fighting a contender. They want to go straight for the title, but Daniel Jacobs, he fought undefeated fighters after undefeated fighters. In my opinion, Daniel Jacobs looked his best in 2015. That was December 5th, 2015 when he fought Peter Quillin. And what was supposed to be a 50-50 fight in my opinion, but I think Peter Quillin probably was the favorite. Daniel Jacobs put on a show, stopping Peter Quillin, who's never been stopped before. He stopped him in the first round. That was Daniel Jacobs' signature win, in my opinion. Then Daniel Jacobs went on to fight guys like Sergio Mora. In the second fight, Sergio Mora is a guy Daniel Jacobs fought before where they traded knockdown. By the way, I got him confused with Vanes Martirosyan. Daniel Jacobs never fought Vanes Martirosyan. I think I said that. But it was Sergio Mora. They fought twice. In the first fight, Daniel Jacobs and Sergio Mora, I believe they both traded knockdowns. Daniel Jacobs, he won the fight by TKO. Everybody said because Sergio Mora got injured. The second fight, he just completely took him apart. It was a very impressive performance. So I say Daniel Jacobs' great performances was from 2015 to 2017. After the Gennady Golovkin fight, Daniel Jacobs didn't look the same, guys. I think the Gennady Golovkin takes a lot out of guys. You know, Gennady Golovkin is a guy who tried to overwhelm you. And Daniel Jacobs fought for 3 of the major belts when he fought Gennady Golovkin. Only the WBO wasn't on the line. And Daniel Jacobs, he was in a tough fight against an undefeated fighter in Gennady Golovkin. That was Daniel Jacobs' first undefeated fighter, what was going to lead to 3 more undefeated fighters. He fought Gennady Golovkin, who was 36-0, the huge favorite, and the fight was very close, but Gennady Golovkin was able to pull off the unanimous decision. He then went on to fight Luis Arias in a fight where everybody thought he was going to knock Luis Arias out based on the fact how good he looked against. But I think the Gennady Golovkin fight took a lot out of Daniel Jacobs, because Daniel Jacobs has not looked the same since the Gennady Golovkin fight. He went and fought a guy in Luis Arias. Yes, he's a contender. He was undefeated. But we seen Luis Arias just fought a guy like Gabriel Rosado. And it was a very close fight. And then Maciej Salusky. Daniel Jacob went on to fight an undefeated Maciej Salusky. Daniel Jacob fought Maciej Salusky. He won the unanimous decision, but it was a very controversial unanimous decision in my opinion, because a lot of people thought Daniel Jacobs lost that fight. I believe he dropped Salusky in that fight. Then he went on to fight another undefeated fighter in Sergey Derevyanchenko. In the fight, I felt like he should have never fought the guy because they were stablemates, and the guy only had 12 fights. A lot of people was building Sergey Derevyanchenko like he's the next best thing. Come on, guys. We can't hype a guy up with only 12 fights. He hasn't even had more than 15 fights, and you're hyping him up like he's the next best thing. I know people were out here saying, oh, Gennady Golovkin vacated his belt just so he wouldn't fight Sergey Derevyanchenko. Gennady Golovkin would have sparked Derevyanchenko, guys. Let's be real here. But Jacobs fought Gennady Golovkin undefeated, Luis Arias undefeated, Maciej Salusky undefeated, Sergey Derevyanchenko undefeated. And now he's going into another tough fight against this man right here, Canelo Saul Alvarez, for the IBF, the WBA, and the WBC belt. What a fight, guys. What a fight that's going to be. An amazing unification fight. I just want to see a great fight. At the end of the day, I agree with Bob Arum. I can't believe Canelo Alvarez is only freaking 28 years old, guys. The guy's only 28 years old. He's just reaching his prime, and he already has 53 fights? 53 fights at 28 years old, and he already has 53 fights. And out of those 53 fights, he only has 1 loss. 1 loss. 1 loss. And that was to the all-time great, TBE himself, Floyd Money Mayweather. But Canelo Alvarez, man, he fought the boogeyman Gennady Golovkin twice. He fought the boogeyman Gennady Golovkin twice. And then he went up in weight to 168 to fight a formerly once beaten champion in Rocky Fielding to win a WBA super middleweight title. Another accomplishment to an even great career of a Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez has continued to impress me. I mean, a lot of people say his legacy is forever tainted because of the failed drug test, but he later passed the drug test and he blamed it on meat. So a lot of people don't want to give Canelo Alvarez credit for the earlier part of his career because of the drug. But he looked better when he wasn't on drugs. I mean, you guys say he was on drugs, but how do he get off the drugs and look better? Because in the second Gennady Golovkin fight, he looked better than the first. So he won that fight very convincingly, in my opinion. It should have been a unanimous decision, but it was called majority decision. He looked much better, and he was coming off a leg injury. But Bob Arum is right. It's amazing at 28 years old, Canelo Alvarez is just entering his prime, and he has done so much in the sport of boxing. It's unfreaking believable, man. This is why this is a great fight. And it's a fight that we must tune in on May 4th. But I got Canelo Alvarez winning this fight, whether by TKO or a 12-round unanimous decision. I don't see Daniel Jacobs winning this fight. But yeah, guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon for more videos like this. And hopefully this is a competitive fight.